Hi, my name is Rick Walker, and I'd like to introduce you to Rainstorm Sprinklers. We all know what a forest fire looks like, and how terrified we become when one is near, and how helpless we feel when it's too late, and there's nothing we can do to help save our homes, families, and neighbors. Over the last several decades, it has come to pass, assisted by global warming and climate change, that natural and man-made disasters have caused many, sometimes very large wildfires that have destroyed many millions of dollars of property in the world, 2021 being a particularly bad year for the west coast of North America. The obvious result is the total loss of homes, properties, and perhaps livelihoods. One of the results has been the steep rise in insurance rates in certain areas, or even flat refusal to provide insurance coverage at all. As an example, let's look at one particular wildfire, the Colorado Black Forest Fire. From the massive size of the fire, we know that insurance damages totaled over $420 million. There were over 4,000 auto and homeowners claims, about a $128 million increase from the preliminary damage estimate of $293 million made in the initial weeks after the fire. That still ranks the Black Forest Fire as the second most costly in Colorado state history. The most disastrous fire is the Marshall Fire in Boulder County, December 30, 2021. It is primarily for these reasons that we have invented and designed our Rainstorm Sprinkler product. We believe that two of the biggest problems Rainstorm Sprinklers might be able to solve is to help save our homes and livelihoods, and perhaps reduce the homeowners' insurance rates.
Let's look into the initial cause of property ignition in a wildfire scenario. When it comes to wildfires, we know that over 95% of property losses have been caused by flying embers igniting our home and surrounding area during a 2 to 3 hour period preceding the arrival of the fire itself. An ember is a burning leaf or twig or other piece of debris. These burning embers land on your roof and deck and can ignite your outdoor furniture, roof shingles, and the debris in your gutters. An ember attack is when thousands of these burning leaves and twigs are carried by the wind to land in other areas that include our homes and properties. Ember attacks are the most common way houses can ignite during wildfires, and these attacks can happen before, during, or after a wildfire.
Nobody is really safe. Here are a couple of examples. Look at any of the 3 homes shown in our opening clip. They are all deep in a forest, yet they are burning, and very few of the trees surrounding them. Or, this house, on 10 acres of almost treeless rock, yet it burned to the ground. Both because of flying ember attacks.
At Rainstorm Sprinklers, we believe that we have a better method to help us fight these types of wildfires. What we are going to show you is a new, safe, self-help fire prevention system, that as soon as we find out about an impending wildfire, we don't need to panic about setting up roof or gutter sprinkler systems and connecting hoses, and hoping it all works. There are a million other things we have to do in this time of stress, to protect our family and precious items.
So what we're talking about are permanently installed devices that combine a low-profile, recessed, weatherproof design, with built-in adjustable components, mounted primarily at the peak of the roof. They have to work for all roof shapes, sizes, and finishes. They must be visually acceptable to any architect or homeowner. And they must include dry type, freeze-proof functions, and be suitable for easy installation by a single contractor whether we have a new or renovation project. And it must be ready for any potential changes to any building code, at any time in the future. Plus, our sprinkler recently received patent pending status from the U.S. Patent Office. There are many rooftop and gutter-mounted sprinkler systems available that have been designed and patented over the years. So why doesn't every house have a permanently mounted sprinkler system on the roof? Especially if you live in an area prone to wildfires. It could be because they are all exposed and ugly, and need manual installation at the time when you're feverishly panicking, when a wildfire is near.
So we're talking about a newly developed method of exterior fire protection that will provide us with a permanently fixed in-place method to help fight an impending wildfire. This is all about Rainstorm Sprinklers, exterior, recessed, roof-mounted, low-profile, dry pipe, fire prevention sprinkler system.
Let's take a moment and look at the important words. Exterior. That goes without saying because we're attempting to prevent fires caused by flying embers landing on the roof of our building and nearby property. Anything horizontal or near our building will be considered as exterior. Roof-mounted. Also obvious, because it's the embers that fall on the roof that are most dangerous, so by roof-mounting our sprinklers at the peak of the roof, we are adding a source of water nearest the expected location for a fire to start. From the photos you've just seen, you can see that most rooftop sprinkler systems are ugly, exposed and added as an afterthought or in a panic, just before the wildfire itself. What we are looking at with Rainstorm Sprinklers is a permanent, fully recessed device that has a very low profile that is visually acceptable to homeowners and architects, and added at the beginning of the build project.
Rainstorm sprinklers use a dry pipe system, which is a very important point that ensures that, in cold climates, the sprinkler head won't freeze in the winter months and won't damage the house if a sprinkler or piping malfunction occurs, because the pipes are empty until the water is needed, even if it's in the middle of winter. Since this is a method of drenching your roofs, decks and other surfaces, so that flying embers from a wildfire will be extinguished and not be able to ignite your house, we can consider this as a fire prevention system. At this point in time, there are no federal, state, provincial, municipal or city code requirements for exterior fire extinguishing systems of any kind. We would like to change that. The biggest issue is that we want the sprinkler device to be inconspicuous and unobvious and to disappear into the background of the building. This is an architectural rendition of a modest home, showing the recessed sprinkler heads on the upper and lower roofs on a white background. If we didn't tell you what to look for, you wouldn't even see them, especially if we added the plumbing and roof vents, chimneys, trees, shrubbery, garden ornaments and other visual distractions normally seen around a house. And on a real, suburban house, from normal viewing angles, any recessed roof sprinklers become invisible. And the bigger your house gets, the more inconspicuous the sprinklers will become.
So if we feel threatened by an approaching wildfire, we are able to help ourselves reduce losses of both property and lives. The Rainstorm Sprinkler system has been designed to be installed either in new, or retrofitted into existing buildings, with a roof of any shape, size or material. Asphalt and cedar shingles are the two most common. The third most common are metal roofs. It's true that metal doesn't burn itself, but with many clips, seams, skylights, gullies, valleys, snow guards, rust, gutters and dormers that collect leaves and pine needles that do burn, the roof could transmit the heat very quickly to the structure below. We believe that the concept of giving the homeowner a reasonably priced, manually operated tool to assist firefighting an approaching wildfire is highly desirable. So remember, what is unique about this system? It's almost invisible, mounted inside the roof space, and it's dry type, meaning it will not leak and damage the home, and will not freeze in the winter. All we need is a reliable source of water and some other readily available components. And remember, this applies to whichever sprinkler system you choose. Even if your house is connected to a municipal water supply, it cannot be considered as reliable, guaranteed, or dedicated.
Assuming you don't have access to Niagara Falls, it's easy to obtain your own reliable water supply. There are several options available. If you're designing a new home, you can add a water tank under your garage. Or maybe you have one of these? And if neither of these options appeal to you, then you'll need one or two of these, above or below ground. Or 3 or 4 of these specialty tanks located at the back of the garage. If you have your own drilled well, then it must be sized as a minimum, for the required sprinkler water pressure and flow rate you or your contractor calculated. And have a standby generator, so you can operate it in case you have a power outage. Remember, if you're really serious, and really want to protect your home from a wildfire, you need a reliable and dependable water source. A pressure pump and standby generator will always be required, regardless of the type of sprinkler protection system you choose. Plus, because a rainstorm sprinkler system is a permanently installed device, it will increase the value of your house, and maybe make it easier to sell, and reduce your insurance costs, especially if you're in a wildfire-prone area.
So after a few years research, this is what we ended up with. Our working prototype. Plus, we went further and installed a complete operating system on our own family home. So this is the secret of the Rainstorm Sprinkler dry pipe design. The intent of our design is not to reinvent the sprinkler device itself, but to work with existing commercially available products, in order to refunction and reposition them for use externally on a roof. Our aim is to make this into a profitable commercial venture. It should be obvious by now that we have designed a permanently installed sprinkler system that could help in saving our own, and maybe our neighbors' houses, from burning down from the effect of wildfire embers landing on the roof, decks or nearby ground, surrounding our homes. As we mentioned previously, NFPA, the Fire Sprinklering Code Authority, does not mandate exterior fire sprinklers yet. If ever they do, Rainstorm Sprinklers will be ready to lead the market. We contacted the NFPA, and they told us that they hadn't yet considered wildfires, but were working on problems associated with fires due to solar panels on roofs. Hint: we're already ideally suited to working with that kind of problem. Due to the simplicity of the Rainstorm sprinkler system, the installation costs can be minimized, and the help provided in fighting wildfires will become of interest to homeowners and the code authorities as a whole. We are waiting with excitement to see what the NFPA, other code authorities and insurance companies will do. From the standpoint of installation, the complete Rainstorm sprinkler system has been designed from the ground up around the construction industry, making it easy to install by a single contractor. Although installation in a new building project would be easier and more cost-effective, it is also very easy to install into an existing building. Even though the Rainstorm sprinkler product is an exterior fire sprinklering system, it would be natural to have a plumber or interior fire sprinkler contractor do the installation. They already work to the strict regulations put in place by the NFPA and other code authorities, so their work ethic would already be high. Each part of our system has been designed for ease of installation, making a fast, clean, trouble-free project possible. Another way to look at it is that the installation contractor could play a role in the marketing of our system, since this is a value-added product that will add to his bottom line. We know that almost every project will need a certain amount of design and engineering input, because almost every project is different. Our head office and online calculators will support the homeowner and contractor with in-house design assistance.
What are people saying about us? Here are a couple of examples.
My wife and I are just planning our new home, and we're in a wildfire-prone area. We will definitely install a Rainstorm sprinkler system to help protect us, as well as add value to the property.
We have already built our Linwood retirement home in a wildfire-prone area, so we're looking into adding a Rainstorm sprinkler system for fire protection and better insurance coverage.
The world is our marketplace.
If you have any comments or need more information, please don't hesitate to contact us. We will be on all the usual social media platforms, and soon we will have our webpage up and running. However, in the meantime, you can reach me at rainstormsprinklers@gmail.com.
Thank you, merci.